Welcome back to Surviving Alzheimer's with Mike. Today we're going to talk about the difference between dementia and normal aging. For people, especially in their 60s and 70s, it's a concern because we know that as our bodies and our brains get older, we go through the normal aging process. So let's start off by talking about normal aging and some of the things that we would experience. Okay, first, if you occasionally forget a name or maybe a place or an appointment, that would be still considered to be normal aging and does not necessarily mean that you have some form of dementia. If it takes longer to process information, sometimes let's say you're doing working on a recipe, you're baking, and it may take you a little longer to go through all of the ingredients and to get everything coordinated. Occasionally you forget where an item is. Maybe you forgot where you put your cell phone, but not frequently, just occasionally. The thing about normal aging, we can still learn and remember new things. A good example that just happened to me recently, I switched from an Android phone to an iPhone. Totally different. The controls are different, the settings are different, and it's taken me a long time to become accustomed to the new phone. So you might experience something like this too. In my case, it's really hard because it's something that's new. But if in the normal aging process, most people can adapt to that pretty quickly. But I think the bottom line for normal aging is the things that you do on a daily basis, especially these few things that we've talked about, they shouldn't disrupt your life. Now, if you're noticing a trend in these things that we've talked about and you're under 60, then I would probably recommend that you do talk to a medical professional, maybe the next time you have a doctor's appointment. And the reason I mention that is that, like me, I was diagnosed when I was 58 with early onset Alzheimer's. So sometimes when you notice these things, that they may need attention. Okay, let's talk about dementia. Okay, we've got a few things that are the same list as normal aging, but they're a little more complicated. Okay, to start with, forgetting names of close friends, family. My grandchildren. I've got 13 grandchildren and step-grandchildren. And I can usually remember names. I know faces, but sometimes I will lose a name and it'll take me a little while to come up with it. Same questions that you could ask and maybe same comments that you would make. An example for me, our morning routine, I get up and unload the dishwasher. Part of the dishwasher, I save part for Deborah, but sometimes if there's not a lot, I'll go ahead and do all of it. And then I'll tell Deborah that I've already loaded the dishwasher. Well, I might tell her that 3 times in the morning. So then she will remind me that I had already told her that. Okay, the next one, frequently forget appointments or events. Do you have sticky notes all over your refrigerator or all over your desk reminding you of different appointments? That's kind of a red flag. Do you pause in the middle of a conversation? We used to say that, whoops, I can't remember what I was talking about, I just drew a blank. Oh, that's kind of a red flag. Do you sometimes substitute a common word? I did this when I was telling my wife about my last trip to the grocery store. I told her that I had all of these cans and I was putting these cans into my shelf. Well, I wasn't putting them into my shelf, I was putting them into the cart, but I had switched the word cart and shelf. Do you tell the same story multiple times to a friend or maybe to a coworker or maybe to your spouse? We have a friend that was going through this and was telling Deborah and I both at different times the same story about an upcoming event. So that's a red flag. Are you constantly misplacing items? For me, it was my car keys. So I have different places in the house that I keep. My wallet is in one place, the car keys are somewhere else. The last thing we'll talk about is eating poorly, not bathing, or being unsafe. I don't have an issue bathing, but especially this time of year, if I'm not outside working because it's too cold, I may go 3 or 4 days and realize that I haven't washed my hair. It's just because I can't remember if I had washed my hair the previous day or the day before. So I don't really have a routine for that. And the other thing I think that we need to talk about real quickly is safety. And I have had a couple occasions where I was in the kitchen and I put something on the stove, turned it on to warm it up, and then walked off knowing I would be right back. Well, I didn't come right back and I ended up burning it. So anyway, that is a safety concern if you're doing anything in the kitchen, especially on the stove, that you need to stay and babysit the stove. So anyway, if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, then it's probably advisable to talk to someone and get some medical advice. Okay, that's it for today. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.